Hi, and welcome back to our UI performance testing series. And I'm so excited for today's episode because we are diving into one of the most powerful tools in a developer's performance toolkit, Lighthouse reports. So if you have been following along, in episode 1 we covered the fundamentals of performance testing, and in episode 2 we learned how to install and how to run the Lighthouse audits using the very basics of the commands in CLI. But here's the thing, running the audit is just the beginning. We are just doing a scratch on the surface, but the real magic happens when you can properly interpret and act on what Lighthouse is telling you. So today we're going to transform you from someone who just runs a Lighthouse audit into someone who can read these reports like a performance detective, and we will cover the core metrics that actually matter, how to decode those color coded scores, navigate through all the different sections, and most importantly, turn those insights into real performance wins. And by the end of this episode, you will never look at the Lighthouse report the same way again. You will know exactly where to focus your optimization efforts for maximum impact. So let's dive in with no further ado. And now we are on the second slide. So let's start with the foundation, the 6 critical metrics that Lighthouse measures. So think of these as your performance vital signs. First up, the first contentful paint, or FCP. This metric measures the time until the first piece of text or image appears on your page. So you want this under 1.8 seconds. Why? Because this is when users first see that something is happening. So when you see a slow FCP, a slow first contentful paint, which means users are staring at a blank screen, wondering if your site is working or not, or is it broken. So it has to be lesser than 1.8 seconds. And the next thing is your largest contentful paint, and this is probably the most important metric for user experience, because this largest contentful paint measures when the largest element, usually your hero image or main heading, finishes loading. So keep this under 2.5 seconds. This is when user perceive your page as loaded. And then the third one is the cumulative layout shift, CLS, which is different because it's not about time, but it's about the visual stability. Because ever if you have ever been reading an article and suddenly the text jumps because an ad gets loaded, and that's called layout shift, and it is incredibly frustrating. So we have to keep the CLS, the cumulative layout shift, which is should be less than zero point 0.1. And then the speed index. So this speed index shows how quickly the content becomes visually complete, and it has to be under 3.4 seconds, which is good. And think of it as a movie of your page loading, because speed index tells you how quickly that movie reaches the final frame. And the fifth one, which is the total blocking time. The total blocking time measures how long your page is unresponsive. Just underline this. This tells you how long your page is unresponsive to user input, and this has to be under less than 200 milliseconds, because this is very crucial for interactivity. Until this gets loaded, the user will not be able to interact with the application, or interact with the user, interact with the end user, or interact with the server, or even the application, I will say. And then the last one, which is the first input delay, and this measures the time from when a user first interacts with your page until the browser can actually respond. So under 100 milliseconds is the goal. So these are the core web vitals and the key metrics, and now you know what you must do and what you must look for your UI performance testing um, report. And then the third slide. So now let's tour the different section of a Lighthouse report, because each one gives you different insights into your site's health. So firstly, the performance section. So the performance section, where we spend most of our time, because this shows your overall performance score. So Lighthouse uses a 0 to 100 scale with 3 color coded ranges. Green scores from 90 to 100 means excellent performance. Your users are having a great experience. And when it is orange, it is from 50 to 89, which indicates there is a room for improvement, which is not terrible, but definitely there are opportunities to optimize. And then we have the red score, which is from 0 to 49, which is you are on red alert, and these need immediate attention. But here is something that's really important that many or every developers or performance testers get wrong. Don't chase the perfection, because I see teams were obsessed over getting from a 95 to 100, but I mean that last 5 points might require massive effort for minimal user experience improvement. So please focus on getting all your core web vitals into the green zone, and a site with all green vitals and an 85 overall score will feel much faster to users than a site with a 98 score but poor LCP. So make sure you're getting into the green section. And also remember, Lighthouse runs in a controlled lab environment, so your real users might have slower devices, they might have worse networks or other factors that affect the performance. So use Lighthouse as your baseline, but always validate the improvements with real user monitoring data. And the scoring is not linear either. Take a score from 99 to 100, that needs about the same amount of metric improvement that would take from 90 to 94. So focus your energy where it will have the biggest impact on actual user experience. And then the next slide, the fourth slider, where we're going to see about the navigating the reports section. So this is where we're going to navigate to the report section. So the first thing is we have the performance section, is where we spend most of our time. Every performance tester will spend most of his time, because this particular section will show you the overall performance score, the 6 key metrics that we discussed, and they're crucial. The opportunities, the diagnostics, and this is your roadmap for optimization. And then we have the accessibility section, the second one, which is very important, but it is often overlooked, I will say, because this checks for proper area attributes, the color contrast, the keyboard navigation, and the screen reader compatibility. And a score here is not just about compliance, but it is about making your site usable for everyone. So when a website is accessible, which means it is usable for everyone, people who are even have less accessibility should also have uh, a good website with good accessibility skills, or with those elements. And then the best practices, this best practices section covers the security and the modern web standards, because things like using HTTPS, avoiding deprecated APIs, and following current web development practices, because these might not directly impact the performance, but they affect your site's overall quality and trustworthiness. And then we have the SEO section, which audits your meta tags, your structured data, and other factors that help search engine understands your content. So a good search engine optimization practices often align with good performance practices. And here are two sections where that will save you the most time, the opportunities and the diagnostics. So what do they do? So the opportunities show you specific optimization with estimated time savings. See that eliminate render blocking resources with a 1.5 second potential savings. That's where you start, and these are ranked by impact, so work from the top down. And then we have the diagnostics, which provides additional context about your site's performance metrics, and this helps you understand why certain metrics are the way they are. And then the final one, the report to action. So this is where we turn our knowledge into results. So let's create a systematic approach to transform your Lighthouse insights into actual performance improvements. And the step one is triage by color. So any red scores get immediate attention, and these are blocking your users from having a good experience. So don't move on to optimization until you have addressed these critical issues, that is the red issues. And then the second one, which is high impact opportunities first. So look at your opportunity section and focus on the items with the biggest potential time sinks. For example, you could get a recommendation to eliminate render blocking resources, but the render blocking resource, render blocking network requires slow down rendering on the page, or hurting your page load milestones like the largest contentful pane. So always make sure that uh, you are having the high impact, you're fixing the high impact opportunities first. And then the third one is the core web vitals priority. So make sure your LCP, that is largest contentful pane, the FIT, the CLS, cumulative layout shift, are all in the green zone, because these directly correlate with the user experience and the Google's ranking factors. And now the common optimization that you'll encounter, that is the image optimization, which is usually the biggest win because you have to compress your images, you have to serve modern formats like WebP or AVIF, and you have to implement proper responsive images. And I have seen sites which gain 3 to 4 seconds just from image optimization. And then we have the JavaScript optimization, which is usually the biggest, which is the next one. So you have to remove unused code, you have to defer non-critical scripts, and consider code splitting for large applications. And every kilobyte of JavaScript has to be downloaded, parsed, and executed. And then we have the critical path optimization at the last as the last one, which means, so this critical path optimization means you have to identify and you have to prioritize the resources which are needed for above the fold content, and inline critical CSS, and eliminate render blocking resources and use resource hints like preload and prefetch strategically. So with that, I come to the end of this video, and in our next video, we'll see more deeper, and we're going to see much interesting topics as part of it. And so I would say, like, we'll see the audit explained as part of the, or we'll also go through, we'll try to read a particular report, or we can mm, try various other items like command line options and flags, configuring custom audits, and you can also even try with different output formats. So the next session is going to be more interesting and informative. So please don't forget to subscribe to Little Star YouTube channel. Please share the video with your friends. Thank you. Take care and bye bye.